When a band like the Deftones drops a new album, it isn't just music, it's a big event. 25 plus years in, they've outlived most of their peers, reinvented themselves more times than Slipknot's tried masks, and built a reputation for walking the tightrope between brutality and beauty. Now in 2025, they're back with Private Music, an album people are already whispering might be their best yet. But is it really? Let's dive in. Before I get too deep into Private Music, quick reminder. Normally, I've been working through my series on the 100 greatest new metal albums of all time, but every now and then, I gotta break the format when something big drops, and the Deftones releasing a brand new album is pretty fucking big. So, if you want more reviews like this, plus some deep dives into the weird, the classic, and the downright questionable corners of heavy music, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around here on the Dread Zone. And here's where I gotta be upfront with everybody. The Deftones aren't just another band for me. They've actually been the first band that I've ever seen live, and have been one of my personal favorites since. If you know me, you know I think Around the Fur, which is their second album, is genuinely one of the greatest albums of all time, full stop. Not just new metal, like any genre. It's a fucking masterpiece. So, even though Private Music isn't part of this list, I've been working through on this channel, and I couldn't resist breaking format to cover it. When a band that's this important to me, and probably a lot of you guys too, drops music, I gotta talk about it, period. So with all that being said, let's zoom back into the present. It's been 5 years since Ohms, and now Deftones are back with their 10th studio album, Private Music, dropped yesterday, the 22nd of August, 2025. It's already sparking debates about where it ranks in their discography, and that's exactly what I'm here to dig into. My Mind is a Mountain kicks off the album, being the first song and the first single off the album. Heavy hypnotic riffs, the kind of thing you'd expect from a Deftones album, but it still hooks you in the right way. The cryptic lyrics are there as always, and the whole track reminds me of the epic roller coaster vibe of Rosemary from Kaino Yokan. Great fucking way to open. This song is a standout already. From My Mind is a Mountain, we drop straight into Locked Club, and this one doesn't climb as high. This one's got a sermon-like spoken word delivery in the verses. Doesn't really bother me, but honestly it doesn't do much for me either. The music feels kind of bland, like the band's on autopilot. Not bad, but it definitely feels a little complacent. But after the flatness of Locked Club, Ectasis comes crawling in with a very different kind of energy. Right away you get that industrial Nine Inch Nails-esque intro, paired with an adrenaline-fueled bass line that slaps. The chorus has a more uplifting tone, but to me, it still feels kind of flat. Still, the bridge with those ominous vocals is a cool touch. Overall, I'll give it a thumbs up. If Ectasis is a mixed bag, then Infinite Source is the band firing on all cylinders. God damn, I love this chorus. Tino's vocals are smooth as silk, and the song somehow manages to be very heavy and calm at the same time. Classic Deftones territory. It almost comes across like a love song in their weird twisted way. And that outro, those chunky riffs are phenomenal. From the soaring highs of Infinite Source, we drift into the long, mellow ride of Souvenir. In just over 6 minutes, this one's pretty mellow but steady. It carries a good energy, but around that 4:30-minute mark, things shift into this bagpipe-sounding synth section, which is a cool idea, but it kind of stalls out and doesn't really go anywhere. Up until that point, I was really into it. Fortunately, after the slowdown of Souvenir, CXZ brings us back with a tight mid-tempo groover. A tight mid-tempo headbanger at just over 3 minutes. I really dig the drumming here. It drives the song with a great rhythm, and the atmosphere is thick with tension. Solid listen. Coming out of the tension of CXZ, we slide into something a little bit softer and more emotional with I Think About You All the Time. This one's mellow with Chino's soothing vocals perfectly riding the vibe. Then about halfway through, the song picks up with heavier guitars and those trademark soaring vocals. They even slide in some acoustic guitars near the end, adding a little bit more emotional depth. Feels like a love song, and this song is a standout for me. And after the tender feel of I Think About You All the Time, the Deftones flip the switch and hit you with an aggressive punch with Milk of the Madonna. The second single, Heavy, headbang ready guitars and a hook that just buries itself in your brain. I'm on fire, paired with those grooves, simple but effective. This one gets the blood pumping. If Milk of the Madonna is fire, then Cut Hands is a full-on explosion. This song kicks off with Chino rap screaming his way into your eardrums. Easily one of the more aggressive tracks here. It's raw, it's in your face, but it still balances that signature Deftones beauty with brutality. The closing grooves, straight Pantera level heaviness. His song is a definite standout. After the chaos of Cut Hands, the band pulls things back with the airy atmosphere of Metal Dreams. Very chill, very soaring, pretty much standard Deftones. It's fine, but it doesn't really blow me away. But it delivers that dreamy vibe that the band is known for. And then finally, after floating through Metal Dream, we reach the closer of the album titled Departing the Body. The closer, and it's fantastic. Dreamy, shoegazy, and straight up out of body in its atmosphere. It's not a totally new side of the Deftones, but hey, they cranked that ethereal feeling up to the max. Perfect ending to the album. So the million-dollar question is Private Music Deftones' best album yet? For me, not quite. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. It's a great record. It's got everything I'd want and expect from a Deftones album. The atmosphere, the heaviness, the cryptic lyrics, the push and pull between the aggression and the beauty. But at the same time, it doesn't really feel like they're breaking any new ground here. Few of these tracks lean a little too heavily on the standard Deftones formula. Still, don't get me wrong, I really like this album. There are some fantastic songs that stand tall in their catalog, and even when they're on autopilot, Deftones are still operating at a level most bands can only dream of. So yeah, Private Music, an 8 out of 10. Not their best album ever, but let's be real, even Deftones on Cruise Control sound better than not, or probably like, no. So yeah, Private Music, an 8 out of 10. Not their best album ever, but let's be real, even the Deftones on Cruise Control sound better than 90% of bands on their best day. I'll take formulaic Deftones over another Spirit Box clone any damn time. If you want to see more content like this and are stuck in the late 90s, early 2000s new metal era like me, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. But this is The Dread signing out. I'll see you next time.